I just wanted to do a little quick video. I was gonna do one yesterday, but I was really busy. I didn't have time to. So what I've been thinking about today is like intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. You know, I think it's really interesting the way that it's really easy for us to like be receptive to extrinsic motivation, and I think that kind of drives a lot of like our culture as a society and like the way our society is run. Like not even like just in terms of capitalism, but like I think that is a good example as like just a big cultural impact of like the way that our brains like really like extrinsic motivation. Like, you know, money is like, for all intents and purposes, it's like a made up thing, right? Like there's no real basis for it, you know, like our dollar bills are just like something made up by the government, right? Like, not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't really want to get too like political on here, even though I do have like pretty strong political beliefs, but I'm not, it's more about just my thoughts than like politics. But I think it's really interesting because this abstract piece of paper essentially kind of dictates a lot of people's lives just because it's the extrinsic, not intrinsic, extrinsic motivation of like having more of it, right? And yeah, I think that's really interesting because there's also that saying like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness, which is true in some sense and not true in other sense, obviously. Like, right, if you're homeless, like money is probably going to help you out, you know, like if you can't afford food, money's probably going to help you out. But like a lot of rich people are not very happy, and I think that's because they don't have any intrinsic motivation to do anything. Because intrinsic motivation is a lot harder to like come by. I think I am having trouble trying to find intrinsic motivation for myself to do things like make art or like make music or even just school, you know. There's a lot of extrinsic motivators on like everything that we do in life, and it's kind of hard to like be your own person with that, you know. Like you have the extrinsic motivators of, oh, I need good grade so I can get good jobs, so I can get money, so that I'm comfortable, right? Which is like, again, I'm not really saying that's a bad thing. Like I think everybody should be comfortable. I think people should like work as hard as they can, you know. Like if you can, not as hard as they can, work like to a good level. Like I think it's good for people to have something to do, and I think most people want something to do that they like, which I think it's good for that. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, something I wanted to relate this to is kind of like games. I feel like a lot of my favorite games are ones where you need a lot of intrinsic motivation to really progress. Like something like Stardew Valley is very intrinsically motivated, right? Because you have the community center and you have like the money system, but there's so many different ways to approach like progression that it's really up to you and what you like to do in the game to figure out like how you're gonna approach these goals. And I think that's cool. Like maybe Stardew isn't the best example, but I think the way that I play it is very intrinsically motivated. Like I want to have a nice looking farm so that I can like walk around it or whatever, you know. And that doesn't really get you any reward. It's just kind of a self-satisfaction thing. Also, like a game like Celeste, it's also on paper like it seems kind of extrinsically motivated, like, oh, you want to get to the top of the mountain or whatever. But I think a lot of like the skill in the game just comes from wanting to make yourself better at it, which is like, I don't know, that's like kind of a lot of games. It's like Minecraft too. Minecraft is a good example. Like you beat the Ender Dragon, but it's like the way that you get better is not the game pushing you to get better. It's you like trying to get better. I don't know. And one thing that is very notable about all three of those games, I guess Minecraft isn't like this anymore, but used to be like this. Like there's no microtransactions, and you can't just buy stuff to make you better at the game, which I think is good. You know that, I mean, obviously nobody likes microtransactions, but I just think it's good that you really have to push yourself to get better, and not just pay for it or have like a slop game like Genshin, you know, like I don't know. Yeah, another thing with intrinsic versus extrinsic, just to ditch the whole gaming metaphor, because I don't even play games anymore. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I really fell off that a few years ago, and I want to start again, but I just play like baby casual games, like yeah. But I think like romantic relationships, or not even romantic, but like relationships in general, and like social stuff is very extrinsically motivated, where I think if people were more like, it's a lot of people want the validation, I think, of being in a relationship. So it's like, oh, you could prove to yourself that you're worthwhile, you know? And I understand that, and I think I've been in that space before. But I think a lot of people would benefit from trying to find someone that they think will improve them, as opposed to, well, I'm thinking out loud right now. Obviously none of this stuff is scripted, but I'm trying to think how the metaphor would track to like a relationship, because obviously there's the extrinsic thing of like people see, yeah, I guess it's like you want people to see that you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever you have, as opposed to actually wanting someone who like makes you feel fulfilled. I think that's like the difference. I think like a lot of people I see in like relationships, like at school specifically, I'm not saying like everyone is like this, but like specifically in the frat culture actually, which I'm obviously not part of, but like I see, just because, like, you know, whatever. I think a lot of it is very it's very optics based. Like I think a lot of people don't really actually like their partner, or like whatever you would call them. I don't know. Yeah, I think like the all of like the dating scene now is very like you just want to look good to other people instead of make yourself feel good, which, I mean, it's not everyone. Again, I'm really rambling. I haven't like slept good in like days, and I took a midterm last night at like 1 a.m, which is not good, but yeah, I just wanted to record something because I didn't yesterday. I have so much to do today, but you know, I'm trying to do this every day. So I already missed a day though. Well, we'll see. Yeah, this kind of just ended. I don't know how to finish my train of thought, but maybe I'll script these videos eventually, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's better just to think out loud for like 10, 20 minutes. Yeah, well, that's all I have to say. Goodbye.